Hello and welcome to today's episode of NYSC Half Hour. I am Marian Delikbe. You can follow every episode on NYSC Radio 88.3 FM and NYSC TV on free-to-air satellite. Also on facebook.com/official NYSC. Don't forget to leave a comment, share with your friends and family. Thank you. The NYSC was established through Decree number 24 on the 22nd of May 1973 with a view to engaging graduates from higher institutions of learning in community service and promotion of unity. The fundamental aim of the scheme is to ensure that youth of Nigeria see themselves as part of a strong, united nation that belongs to every part of the country. And since inception, the NYSC scheme have continued to play a huge role in nation building and national unity. I promise you, today's episode promises to be interesting and educative. Stay tuned and do not go nowhere. I'll be right back. NYSC Tidbits. Impact positively on your host communities, DG tells core members. Nigerian Army pledges more support for NYSC, DG hails gesture. Core members have been advised to critically study their respective host communities after the orientation exercise and execute laudable projects that would improve the standard of living of their residents. The Director General of National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Y.D. Ahmed, stated this while addressing the 2024 Batch A Stream 2 core members in Jigawa, Yobe, and Borno State orientation camps, respectively. He said all core members must ensure that by the end of their service year, they leave lasting legacies of good projects in their host communities. The Director General, who lectured the core members on the 4 cardinal programs of the NYSC, namely orientation course, community development service, place of primary assignment, and winding up and passing out activities, added that every core member must participate actively and excel in all 4 programs before he or she can be issued the certificate of national service. The Commander, 3 Brigade Nigerian Army, Kano, Brigadier General M.A. Sadiq, has assured that the officers and men of the brigade will continue to render every necessary assistance for the successful operations of the National Youth Service Corps in Kano State. He said the Nigerian Army and NYSC are one indivisible entity that are fostering national unity and integration. The Commander stated this when the NYSC Director General, Brigadier General Y.D. Ahmed, paid him a courtesy visit in his office. He said there is a cordial relationship between NYSC Kano State Secretariat and the brigade, adding that the exemplary performance of General Ahmed since the assumption of duty as the DG are commendable. I assure you that we will render every needed assistance to NYSC, the commander said. Speaking, the Director General National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Y.D. Ahmed, thanks the commander for the brigade's unrelenting support for NYSC in Kano State. He reiterated that there was the need to strengthen the cordial relationship between NYSC and the brigade for the benefit of both organizations.
Management of the National Youth Service Corps has observed with dismay the high rate of night journeys by corps members. It is pertinent for corps members to note that management places topmost priority on their security and welfare and would do everything possible to ensure their safety. In the light of the above, prospective and serving corps members are warned against embarking on unauthorized and incessant journeys or risky adventures that may expose them to danger during their service year. Bear in mind that if it is compulsory you travel, permission must be obtained from the state coordinator of your state of service. You are also advised to break the journey once it is 6 p.m. in order to pass the night in either military barracks, NYSC formations, police barracks, or other safe places. Parents, guardians, and other NYSC critical stakeholders are by this information requested to counsel their children or wards on the need to adhere to these all-important information. Security is a joint endeavor. Be your own first security officer.
Welcome back. Now, let's get into business proper. We'll be talking to the district head of Kiyawa, Malam Adamu Aliyu Kiyawa, Dan Masani Duse. Yes, the same Malam Adamu Aliyu we all know, a graduate of Hausa and Education from the Abdullahi Bayero University, certificated by the Ahmadu Bello University, Kano, way back in 1979. Malam Adamu Aliyu was mobilized to Yola State and posted to the College of Preliminary Studies, where he utilized his free time in teaching others and also landed himself a TV job as an Hausa TV presenter. Let's meet Malam Adamu Aliyu, the district head of Kiyawa.
My name is Adamu Aliyu Kiyawa. I'm the Damasan Duse and the district head of Kiyawa. I'm a member of the Duse Emirate Council in charge of education. I graduated from then Abdullahi Bayero College, which was a college of Ahmadu Bello University. We are certificated by Ahmadu Bello University, even though the college was in Kano. In 1979, I graduated of BA Hausa and graduate certificate in education. So I graduated with 2 certificates, 1 bachelor's degree and the other certificate in education. And I was posted to Yola, then Gongola State for my national service in 1979. So from the camp, I went to they called it College of Preliminary Studies, an institution that was offering IJMB for direct entry into the university. And I went to the principal and told him my ambition and asked him whether he would request that I be posted to his school. And I was lucky. He asked me what I read and I told him. And luckily for me, in the entire world, only 4 of us graduated with BA Hausa. I got to the college, I realized there was no Hausa lecturer. So good for them, good for me. By 4 o'clock, I had nothing to do. And I was a busybody. And life was somehow monotonous. So I decided to establish a class for Hausa for beginners, free. And I registered 40 people, students, most of them federal civil servants, some core members that wanted to learn Hausa, and a lot of others. I registered 40 and I was giving them classes from 4 to 6 every day, from Mondays to Friday. At the end of the month, without expectation, they gave me 40 naira. Each one of them contributed 1 naira. So I got 40 naira. It was a lot of money then. You are smiling because I could get a goat for 8 naira or 10 naira at the time. So 40 naira could buy me 4 goats. The NYC allowance was 180 naira. It was small, but very, very valuable. Do you know what? I would always come to Kano by air. Yeah, because the air ticket to Kano one way was 18 naira. As a copper, I would get a rebate of 50%. So return was just 180 naira. 18 naira, which was 10% of my NYC allowance. In the night, I had nothing to do. Then one of the senior officers of the college invited me to his house for dinner, and I realized that NTA had been established in Yola. And we watched the 7 o'clock Hausa News. The following morning, I went to NTA and said I wanted to meet the general manager. His Timawas Matthias. I'm sure a lot of people know Timawas Matthias. He was the general manager then of NTA. And I told him, there's a problem with Hausa News. The first words that came from his mouth was, can you do it? So that's why I'm here. So he called the manager news, I think, and told him to take me to this station, and because his office was not within the station. He said, go and test this boy, give him translation and put him on camera and come back. So we came back and he gave his report. I went back home, removed my NYC kit and came back and started broadcasting that night.
Malam Adamu Aliyu talks about how receptive the people of Jigawa are to core members posted to the state.
I am traditionally the person who goes to give the traditional lecture to the core members, as long as there is provision for any batch. And the first question I usually ask them is, how many of you, let me see the hands of those of you who have never been to the north. And I tell them, I'm sure many of you cried, your relations wept and sympathized with you, but I'm sure being in Jigawa now, some of you must have started thinking of making Jigawa your second home. And most of them will say yes. And indeed, I have seen corpers who have been here and throughout the year they will not go home. I have seen those who, even after the service, they still don't go home. They wait to get a job, and the parents will think maybe that, well, what is wrong with you? And they say, it is safe here. Good food, cheap food, good environment. Nobody. I tell the girls that, look, as a man, from the north, as a Muslim, I find it more uncomfortable walking on the streets of Aba in my kaftan, because most those going to the east would rather put on t-shirts or shirts so that they blend. I feel more uncomfortable than a woman walking on the streets of my town with short nikah. Nobody bothers at you, nobody says anything to you, nobody stares at you. You are just accepted as a human being. So that's just how it is. We don't actually have to make any effort to make them integrate. By the time they come to the camp, they know that they are home away from home. That's what Jigawa is.
The district head speaks about the importance of self-employment, the need for corps members to take side seriously.
What NYSC is doing, giving the opportunity for people to tap on the opportunities for self-employment, is probably, apart from NYSC itself, the best thing that NYSC is doing. Because when addressing the corpus during my lectures, I tell them that, look at you, 3,000 of you currently in one batch. And there are as many as what? 6 batches in a year? 6 times 3, that's how many thousands? Let us assume that every batch is supposed to be employed in the state where they serve. No state employs up to 3,000 in a year. And in each state, you have 3,000 times about 6 serving. So where do you get the jobs? You have to create jobs. How do you create jobs? You have to learn how to be self-employed. The number of people employed by local, state, and federal governments is just an insignificant percent of school leavers. And the school leavers are there. So they have to, they have to be self-employed. They have to find means and ways of being on their own, and the NYSC scheme should even strengthen. While we congratulate the NYSC for having the scheme, the entrepreneurship scheme, more should be done.
He speaks on the impact of the NYSC scheme and how its corps members have helped in different sectors in the state. He also extends thanks to the founding fathers of the NYSC scheme.
Most states don't have adequate teaching staff in their schools. It is the NYSC that is their saving grace. Most states don't have adequate, in fact all states, don't have adequate health workers, especially medical doctors. Their saving grace mostly are the medical doctors, many of whom eventually decide to remain in the state to practice, either employed by the government or establish their own health facilities. Teachers, those who teach or eventually either become recruited as teachers, or even they establish private schools. So NYSC has done more than what anybody can imagine. It should be proud of itself, and we have to continue to pray for the initiator of this scheme, Yakubu Gawan. He has done a great, if this is the only thing he did for this nation, he has done a great thing for this nation, and he should not be killed by anybody. Anybody that says NYSC should go is an enemy of this country.
He encourages corps members not to diverse means to avoid serving the nation. They should accept wherever they are posted to and maximize the service here.
Every university, every tertiary institution student who is qualified to be a corps member should be looking forward to it as the next chapter, important chapter of his life. Anybody that keeps NYSC increase your age, or inflate your age so that you don't go. Shy away from going to where you don't know. You don't know that you are stifling or destroying some important part of your history. The 1 year I had of NYSC, I consider it to be one of the most important chapters of my life. You give stories. Don't allow yourself to have no story to tell one day. to your kids or to your friends when NYSC is being talked about. And the only way to make sure that you don't lose this is to want to do it, and to want to do it in a place where you don't know.
Malam Adamu Aliyu encourages corps members to engage in personal community development projects, and also encourages corps members not to be ordinary corps members. He appealed to members of the community to accept corps members posted to their community, and government should think of how to make the NYSC scheme better.
As a corps member, try to see gaps in your place of primary assignment, gaps that you can feel that people are shy away from filling. Try to see gaps in the community where you are serving, so that you can try to fill those gaps. Every single gap you fill, God will fill a gap in your life. The society has to support those that are posted to their communities, because they're filling gaps. You don't have sufficient teachers in your schools, and then from nowhere you have people coming to teach your kids. You don't have sufficient doctors, and then from nowhere you have people coming to give you medical treatment. You should support them, respect them, give them all the necessary assistance, and make them feel at home. And of course, the government, I think the government is somewhat doing its best with the increase in the past, is it 1 or 2 years? They will say it is still not enough, and it is still not enough, because the sacrifice is really huge. And government should constantly continue to think of how to make the scheme better, make the students more comfortable wherever they serve.
Nigeria serves, Nigeria we serve.
I mean, when opportunity meets a ready man, the rest, they say, is history. A big thanks to the district head of Kiyawa for that wonderful conversation. Moving on to our next story, where we'll be talking to Anne Onoja from Kogi State, graduated from the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi. She was mobilized in 2020 to Sokoto State for her national service. Prior to service here, Anne is a skilled caterer who has been working in the food processing sector. While she was in camp, she didn't hesitate to let her skills do the talking. She volunteered to teach corps members while in camp, and after service year, she relocated back to Benue State, where she continued her catering profession, and also she is now a certified Said trainer. Let's meet Anne.
I'm by name Anne Onoja. I'm from Kogi State. I graduated from UniAgric, Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi. I was mobilized November 2020 to Sokoto State. The people of Sokoto State, they actually receive visitors. They treat people very fine. So the experience was so fine in camp. I met so many people in camp, friends, and actually while I was in camp, NYSC, they called coppers that have skill. I came out, that was where they picked me. While serving, I was even taking side. Immediately when I came out of camp, the head of Said in Sokoto, Sir Fagi, called me that I should come over to the secretariat, that can I be taking coppers in camp. I went there, and that was how I started taking coppers. But they did not know that I was a copper. They thought, you know, I will have big students in the class. It's just as if I'm coming, they should just carry me. But they never knew I was a copper. After my service year, I Of course, I passed out October. I came back home to see my people. They now called me. They sent my name that I should come back and take Said. So I was going there to take Said. So the head of Said now said, I should go to Makurdi and meet NYC there. They will fix me. I should call them. That was how I now started with them in Benue State. Being a trainer, I don't have to look for money. And training people alone have, let me use the word endorse you, because going to camp, putting it on my social media and have people in politics. I've had calls recently that somebody that is contesting for a particular post is saying, Anne, I want you to go to my village and do and take food processing. But so far, I've trained a lot of corps members. But with this skill they have, you can deliver at any time. As a corps member, even if your capital is small, you can start somewhere. If you have this skill, you can deliver. And of course, there is this saying that a gift of a man make room for him. When you are mixing it, you have to take your time and mix all the ingredients together. You don't rush it. You take your time, you mix it.
I'm by name Alfred Evelyn Kedo. So when I got to camp, I joined the Said group, food processing. I was so happy when I met Miss Anne Onoja. She taught us very well and I learned a lot, so many things. I learned things like corset dough. I learned donuts. I learned cupcake. I even did exhibition in the camp. So I still continue with her, just like we see us. Thank you very much. I thank the NYC so much for bringing this program. I know very well that after here, I can also do something with it and it will help me. I don't even need to look for a job anymore.
I'm happy to be here and I'm so glad to be part of the people she's training. I really like her so much and I really like the way she's training us. With this training, I believe that I can go anywhere that I want in life. This will sort out some of the needs that I have, and asking for urgent 2K from my parents, from my colleagues will not happen anymore.
With this, I believe I can start business on my own after this NYSC. So I'm so glad and I'm so happy. I can make Chinese rice, Ghana rice, jollof rice, fried rice. I can do cake, different type of cake. And also I can do donuts, meat pie, chin-chin, and I can make assorted drink. I really appreciate NYSC. I'm so happy, I'm so grateful, and I'm so happy serving my country, serving my father's land.
I have every cause to tell NYC thank you, right from me even going as a copper to go and serve my fatherland, coming back and NYC calling me to be a trainer is a privilege.
Well, I guess this already explains why you should learn a skill today and not tomorrow. A big thanks to Anne. Continue the good works and God bless you. Thank you for being part of today's episode. I'm sure you had a great time. Remember, you can catch up on every episode on NYC Radio, 88.3 FM and NYC TV on free-to-air satellite. Also on facebook.com/official NYSC. For your feedback and a chance to get featured on the program, kindly reach out to us via the social media handles displayed on your screen. And dear call members, be your brother's keeper. See something? Please say something. Desist from night journeys. Kindly discontinue your journey after 6 p.m. and do not embark on unauthorized travels. I am Marian Delibe. Be security conscious. Bye for now.